everybody, on my way to Flint right now. Finally gonna get that surprise project done. Though I feel like after all the delays I've had and as much as I've talked about it, I may have made a bigger deal out of it than it is. So I hope you're not disappointed, but I'm gonna have an awning put on the van. A Dometic something. Crap, I can't remember the name of it. It's one of those box awnings that just completely folds up inside a case on the side of the van. You won't even, there aren't any legs coming down or anything, so they're not cheap, let's say that. It took me a long time to find a decent deal on one. I mean, they ranged anywhere from $500 or $600 way up to over $1,000. If you go to an RV dealership, it's like $1,000 for the one that I bought. I'm also going to put in an outdoor shower. I'm going to have it mounted right here outside the opposite wall from where the galley is. So it's going to be right next to the side door. No, I do not intend to shower naked outside in some parking lot somewhere. However, think about it this way. We were at Sleepy Hollow last weekend. There was a beach, lots of sand. Suppose I wanted to go onto the beach. Lay in the sand, walk in the sand, whatever. Sand gets in everywhere, and once it's on you, you can't get it off without water. You gotta rinse it off. And the only way to rinse it off would be to get into the van and walk through it to the shower, right? Tracking sand the whole way. With the outdoor shower, all you gotta do is open up the little thing, you can rinse yourself off, and then you're good to go without tracking sand and crap into the van. And if I ever am in a really secluded area, I could always just put on a bathing suit and take a shower outside and not fill up the gray water tank, because the gray water tank on this thing is not very big. So I will use it as a shower once in a while, but it's mostly just going to be for a rinsing thing to avoid tracking mud and dirt and stuff into the van. But the awning is the big deal today. That's the one thing I really wanted from the beginning. I was pretty disappointed when I found out this thing didn't have an awning. I really like awnings, and I didn't know if I'd ever be able to put one on. So I was really pleased that I was able to afford this. And it's been sitting in my garage for about a month and a half now. So we're heading to Flint to, I believe it's American RV something or other, to get her put on. Hopefully they'll be able to do it and do it properly. Okay, here we are at, I've already forgotten the name. Hang on. Yeah. American RV Incorporated. I said that once already. Anyway, Queen is inside. They're getting started. It's gonna be a few hours, they tell me, at least. So I'm in for a long wait. Don't really know how to describe it. The guys aren't unfriendly, but they're definitely not customer service people. If that makes sense. They're not chatty. They're pretty much, all right, let's do this, whatever. So I'm not exactly crazy about saying, hey, can I record you doing this? I might do a little bit covert filming from outside, but I'm not gonna go into the garage. I just want them to focus on what they're doing and not focus on me. Plus, they're playing music in there, so I don't think I could record in there very well without getting a copyright strike anyway. So, what I'm gonna do is basically just kind of hang around. I might walk down the street and get some lunch, and I don't know, maybe take a look at a few of these RVs they got out here. They got some nice ones here. Let's take a look. This one's cool. Outlaw, Class A. Looks fairly new, 2016. These are sweet. Look at this. This big compartment here, I'll bet you that's an outside TV. Bet you that's what that is. They got a speaker right there, so would not surprise me. Boy, they got a lot of storage on these things. Man, I wish I had that much storage on mine. Long grass, what's this? Ah, of course, toy hauler. That's why it's so tall in the back. These things are really popular, but it's only really in the last few years that I've seen them on a Class A. They were all trailers for a long time, and now suddenly they're making motorhomes into toy haulers, which is pretty cool. Man, this thing must have been expensive. One, two, how many slides? Two right there. Was there any more on this side? Yeah, 3 slide outs. 3 freaking slide outs. And a big awning. Man, that's nice. See what else they got. They got this Greyhawk right here, Class C. A little bit of a slide out. Yeah, actually this whole wall slides out. That's pretty nice. Yeah, basic. Another Class A here, a Challenger, older one. Probably in the 90s, I'd say, judging by the look of it. Here's another Class A Pace Aero, Fleetwood Pace Aero. I'm guessing this one's from the 80s, maybe. Mid to late 80s. I don't know that much about Class A's. But it's she's showing her age, but hey, if she's still moving, you can still use her. And you got a little trailer here. I should go back out into the front, give you guys a bit of a better look here. There's a nice newer Class C with a slide out, of course. Slide outs are pretty much par for the course nowadays, it would seem. I have mixed feelings about slide outs myself. Yeah, look how low they made the door there. So you don't even have to step, like have a step. Pull out a step. Interesting. And another slide out back there. Yeah, you know, slide outs to me, they're nice, they're convenient when you're actually using them. Gives you a lot more space. But A, leakage. They are very prone to leaking. And B, it's just more mechanical crap to go wrong, you know? So, I'm not crazy about them. My folks bought their RV specifically because it did not have a slide out, because they didn't want to deal with it. Plus, I've noticed RVs that have slide outs tend to have very small windows, and my mother likes big windows. They bought that RV because it had big windows, so they like the big windows. Here's another Class A, real nice one. This is very nice. Okay, how the heck do I pronounce that? Presidio? Okie dokie, I feel stupid. Also very nice. This is like a coach, you know, with the door up front. It's like a bus. But you got, see, look at the way this is set up. You got the slide out here and then the awning. But when you bring the slide out, when you bring it out and then you open up the awning, the slide out takes up a huge section of your living space under the awning. So that kind of sucks. But, you know, I guess if you got something like this, you're probably not spending a whole lot of time outside. And it looks like you got another slide out here. 2 more slide outs. Man, this thing's big. Very cool. All right, I guess I'm gonna go get some lunch. They don't seem to be working too much, so I'm gonna go ahead and go eat. We'll see what happens when I come back. Okay, so they got the exterior shower put in. That went very well. It looks really good on there. I'm very happy with where they put it. It's right where I wanted it to be. And they just tapped into the supply lines for the sink. So it's gonna be real nice to have that. And now they're gonna start the awning. They told me it's gonna be at least a couple hours to do that job. So the bill is running up, but don't care. I'm just gonna take a quick walk to kill a little time and then come back and hopefully be able to record them doing the awning, at least the interesting parts. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Oh, smooth.
Half hour, so make sure you're around for that. Be listening. The opportunity will be here before you know it. All right, this hour being brought to you by Stage One Credit Union. If you're looking for a new ride, just stream it and get it with a loan from Stage One Credit Union. Apply today at StageLinkCU.com. Any questions? Give them a call Monday through Friday, 8 to late Saturday, 9 to 1. That's StageLink. All right, I'll see you tomorrow a couple of different times. We'll start things off at Rockies on the corner of Saigon, Bristol, and outdoor love, Tech Love, and Motorcycle Love in Burton. We'll be out there from 10 until noon for the big bike show and swap meet that happens from 9 until...
Looks like I found a friend. Oh. Oh boy. All right, got her on, looks pretty good. Might need to make a few adjustments later, but I'll show you that when I get home. I got just enough time to show you how the awning works before I gotta run to work. So we'll see you when we get back home. Okay, now that we're here, I got a few minutes to show you what this thing takes. I am just a tad too short for this. There we go. Damn it. Okay, so you can either have it like that, or loosen that. Like that. There it is. Now, if you look closely, you'll see that the end of it out here is actually a little bit elevated. The reason is the roof is curved, and so the case itself does not sit flat, completely vertical. It's supposed to be just like this. Now, it's not really a problem. It'll work just fine like this. But if I want to, which I may do in a few months, is actually shim out the awning itself so that this part comes down at an angle. That'll make it easier for me to reach that end and bring the legs out, but that's optional later. But I like it. I think it's going to provide nice shade. Now, what I wanted ultimately, originally, was like a foot longer. This is an 8-foot awning. I wanted a 9-footer, but that was like an extra $200. So I decided just an 8-footer is just fine. You know, there's plenty of shade under here. I'm very pleased with this. Now, the other thing we did, of course, was this, an exterior shower kit. And I'll show you how this works. Very simple. I'm going to convert this lock so it's not like an actual lock. It's just a turn knob because I don't want a lock on here. Just turn that. And this thing flops open, and there you go. You make sure the pump is on inside, and you got water. See? Works pretty well. I'm happy with that. Try hard to do this with one hand. You just tuck that back in there and you close it. Obviously you lock it. Or you can just do like that. So yeah. Yeah, these are just a couple little things that I've wanted to do. The awning's a big job. And probably could have done it myself, but I really didn't want to deal with it. So yeah, it's gonna make some nice portable shade. I'm very happy with it. Yep. So that right there, folks, concludes major projects on the Queen for this year. Now it's going to be all about traveling. From here till I have to winterize her, I'm going to travel as much as I can, and I got some big plans this year. Now the first plan is going to be Traverse City and Charlevoix. That's going to be a 3-day trip, hopefully later this month. So we'll see you in a few weeks. Take care.